If I asked you to name the greatest team in NBA history, what would your answer be? Would it be Michael Jordan's 1996 Bulls, a team that shattered records with 72 wins and capped it off with a championship? Or maybe the 2016 Warriors, who rewrote history with an unprecedented 73 wins? Perhaps you'd argue for the 2016 Cavaliers instead, the team that shocked the world by dethroning those same Warriors?
Cleveland! This is for you! Oh!
There are plenty of teams in the conversation, and the truth is, the debate will likely go on forever. But here's the thing. I've been following the NBA for over 2 decades, watching more games than I can count. And in 2025, I'm witnessing something I never thought possible.
Just 3 seconds left. Mitchell for the win! Yes! He knocks it down!
Last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers were solid, but just, a middle-of-the-pack type of team. They could make the playoffs, maybe win a round or 2, but no one saw them as true championship contenders. Fast forward to this season, and they've become statistically the most dominant team in NBA history.
And we've talked about them in years past, but what we're seeing now just feels like a very different situation. What do you see when you watch?
As of the time this video is being made, the Cavaliers hold an 89.2 winning percentage, surpassing even the 73-9 Warriors, who hold the best regular season record in NBA history. The season isn't over yet. There's still a lot of basketball to be played. But what the Cavaliers have done so far raises the all-important question. Could this be the year we witness the greatest team in NBA history?
Nah, if I'm going to be an objective viewer, I got to look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and say, yo, peeps, they got a chance to win the chip, to win it all.
The 2025 NBA season tipped off with the Cavaliers on an absolute tear. They weren't just winning games, they were steamrolling the competition night after night. And when I say steamrolling, I don't mean 5 games. I don't mean 10 games, but instead, 15 straight victories. That streak tied for the second longest unbeaten start in NBA history. Yes, history. That's how dominant the Cavaliers looked out of the gate. And yet, I wasn't completely sold. Fast starts in the NBA can be deceiving. Plenty of teams have burst out of the gates only to fizzle as the season wore on. Take the 2011 New Orleans Hornets, for instance. They kicked off their season with an impressive 11-1 record, only to sputter to a mediocre 37-33 the rest of the way. Or the 2018 Detroit Pistons, hot out of the gate with a 14-6 start, only to unravel, losing 22 of their next 28 games. And then, there was my team, the 2025 Warriors. I don't think I can even finish this segment. But anyway, back to the story. I still wasn't completely sold on the Cavaliers, especially after they dropped back-to-back games to Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. This absolutely baffles me. The Hawks are, at best, a play-in team this year with a .500 record currently. And their superstar Trae Young was recently voted by NBA players as one of the most overrated players in the league. So how do these Cavaliers, who could potentially go down as one of the best teams in NBA history, at full health, lose not just 1, but 2 straight games to them? This baffles me. After that puzzling slip-up, however, the Cavaliers bounced back, ripping off an incredible 16-1 run. And during this tear, they didn't just rack up wins, they took down some of the league's best. I mean, they dominated the championship favorite Celtics, defeated the reigning best player in the world and soon-to-be 4-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, twice, and handled the OKC Thunder, a team boasting the 7th best winning percentage in NBA history. That win against OKC was the moment that truly solidified the Cavaliers' place on the map. Think about it. Not only is OKC sitting atop the Western Conference as the #1 seed, but they were riding a 10-game winning streak, firing on all cylinders. And yet, the Cavaliers managed to outplay and outpace them.
It would not surprise me at all if the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship.
What completely blows my mind as well about this Cavaliers team is that they haven't really added anyone new. Yes, you heard that right. This juggernaut of a team, currently steamrolling through the competition, is made up of the same players who were just slightly above average during the 2024 season. Sure, technically, they've added a few new faces, but the truth is, this year's Cavaliers rely on an 11-man rotation. 11 players getting at least 17 minutes per game, and all 11 of them were on the roster last year. In 20 years of watching NBA basketball, I've never seen a team transform from middle-of-the-pack mediocrity to full-blown dominance with the exact same core. This just proves that teams don't always need to trade for a superstar or build a super team to level up. Sometimes it's just about players stepping up their game, plain and simple. This serves as a major wake-up call for teams like the Phoenix Suns, who went all in on Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, only to find themselves sacrificing their future and stuck in a play-in spot midway through the season. Back in the Paul Pierce-led Celtics days from 2008 to 2010, the team essentially rolled out the lineup with 4 All-Stars. That's about as lethal as it gets. Most teams are lucky to have 1 or 2 All-Stars, but having 4 in the same lineup? That's practically a cheat code. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh gave us a glimpse of that dominance in Miami with their big 3. Then, when the Warriors added Kevin Durant and even DeMarcus Cousins, they looked like the Monstars from Space Jam, stacking up several All-NBA caliber players in their starting 5. But recently, something left me completely stunned. I checked the NBA MVP ladder, and at first glance, there were no Cavaliers players in the top 5, which made sense. The top spots are locked down by a handful of superstars who aren't budging anytime soon. But from spots 6 to 10, that's where I saw something I've never seen before. At number 6 is Jarrett Allen, the Cavaliers' starting center. At number 7 is Evan Mobley, their starting power forward. Right after him at number 8 is Darius Garland, their starting point guard. Domantas Sabonis shows up at number 9, but then at number 10, Donovan Mitchell, the Cavaliers' starting shooting guard. All-star lineups? Seen that. All-NBA lineups? Sure. But I've never seen a team with this many MVP candidates all on one roster. And the wildest part? They're all in their primes. This isn't just a team, it's a potential era. Another myth the Cavaliers are shattering is the idea that a modern NBA team can't win with 2 undersized guards.
Could the Cavs truly win it all?
They could. They could.
For years, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum in Portland were the poster duo for this debate. One was an all-NBA caliber player while the other was an all-star, yet their teams couldn't break through at the highest level. Their struggles cemented the belief that a backcourt featuring 2 smaller guards was a recipe for disappointment. Since then, teams have been hesitant to adopt this formula, convinced it just doesn't work in today's NBA. And yet, here come the Cavaliers with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, both standing at just 6'1" and the team's 2 highest paid players, leading the charge and wreaking havoc. Sure, they haven't won a championship yet, but as of today, they have a winning percentage better than the legendary 73-9 Warriors. And that brings us back to the all-important question: could this Cavaliers team become the best in NBA history? Well, as of today, they're sitting at 33-4. When debating the greatest team ever, the first question is always, how many wins did they have? It doesn't matter the era, that's the benchmark everyone starts with.
We all know the Warriors' record. It was a 72-win season. I mean, and look, and we're far from the end of this season, but at what point do you look at these numbers and start going, oh, maybe
For the Cavaliers to make a legitimate case, they need to replicate their first half dominance, finishing the regular season at 66-8. Then they need to push even further and reach a jaw-dropping 74-8 by winning 8 more games.
I feel like they can give it a real run. I feel like they can actually go get this record if they can continue to be healthy.
Here's the catch, though. They'd also have to win the championship. Because let's face it, the 73-9 Warriors, despite their historic regular season, can never be unanimously considered the greatest team ever because of their finals loss. Not only would they need to win the championship, but they'd have to dominate while doing it. Both the 2001 Lakers and the 2017 Warriors nearly swept through the playoffs, setting a standard for greatness. If the Cavaliers struggle significantly to secure the title, it would be tough to argue they're the greatest team of all time. It's a massive if. There's still half a season to go, plus the playoffs, and in sports, we all know anything can happen. But this Cavaliers team has positioned themselves with a genuine shot at cementing their legacy as the greatest ever, or at the very least, securing a spot among the NBA's top 10 teams of all time. And that, my friends, deserves a loud and clear sheesh. On another note, have you heard about the shortest player in the league absolutely lighting it up this season? If you told me heading into 2025 that a 5'7", maybe 5'8" player would be holding his own among the Giants, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, and one man is not just keeping up, he's doing it with style and flair. If you're curious to find out exactly who I'm talking about and just how good the shortest player in the NBA really is, click right here where I break it all down.